Hello, everyone. Greetings and happy Friday. You all know that it is our custom here in the Mamathon tribe for us to go live on Fridays. Now, I might be scattered, okay, some other days of the week, but on Friday is the day that we work on making sure that we talk to the tribe, okay? And I'm really excited today about our lunch and learn topic, all right? Today we're talking about organizing and streamlining, one of my absolute favorite topics, okay? I am live in all the places. I'm talking about LinkedIn. Hey, I'm talking about all the Facebook areas, all the places. This live is going to be so good. And you don't have to worry about me talking to you today all the way through your lunch break and beyond because I have a client call in exactly 30 minutes. So I'm going to give you guys some really good stuff, and then we're going to talk about streamlining and organizing, okay? If you are new here, I am Christina Garrett. I am a productivity coach for superstar women leaders who are trying to navigate doing all of the things, okay? They are building amazing careers. They love God. They love their families. And they're really striving to make sure that they show up in all the avenues of their life. They have a plan for literally everything. Good afternoon. They have a plan for everything, okay? They are working on their self-care. They are working on finding a six-pack somewhere in there. They're working on raising and nurturing their children, being Megan the Stallion for their husbands. They're trying to make sure their families are organized, their homes are organized, and they still want to feel like the best version of themselves at the same time, okay? And so in the midst of all of this, as we are building, good afternoon, as we're building some really epic things, I want to talk today about streamlining and organizing. Okay, streamlining and organizing. I did a post just a few minutes ago, and I said this will make the perfect lunch and learn topic for the next 20 something minutes. Hey, everybody. Here's why this is going to be perfect, all right? Because a lot of us have magnanimous ideas that we want to put out into the world, okay? I see you exactly where you are, excited about your future. And when we get excited about our potential, there are a lot of ideas that come running at us from every single direction. Okay. We get excited about the future. We get excited about our self-care and what could happen with our families and making more money. And I think about my business, I have all of these ideas. They come running from everywhere. Do you hear me? The ideas come from everywhere. You just wake up out of your sleep like, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. I just know if I plug this into my content, it'll be everything. I just know if I go ahead and hire this person, it's going to take me to the next level. I know that if I insert this into my monthly Rolodex of things I do, that it's going to completely and totally transform everything. And we are brilliant women. We are our father's daughter, right? So we automatically come with a whole host of ideas and goals that we want to produce and we want to see come to life. At the same time, we have an assortment of things that often we're not quite sure if we're coming or going, okay? I believe wholeheartedly that if you are going to become a woman who reaches all of her goals, right? Like if you're here and you're listening, you're here for a reason. And that's because the women in our tribe do not play about hitting our benchmarks. I do not want to be the woman who I had a list of goals for January 2023, and I have the exact list of goals again for January 2024, right? I know that you don't want that for yourself either. At the same time, I don't want to run after or meet my goals and have sacrificed the peace, the joy, the love, the unity that I have built with my family. I don't want to sacrifice that either, okay? Now, many of us, when we wake up during the night and we have these ideas and, we have this busy to-do list already. If you're anything like me, your to-do list is overflowing with things that you could be doing. Okay. When we have these ideas and this to-do list, we can have a tendency to overwhelm ourselves. All right. We'll overwhelm ourselves. We do it on purpose. It's like it's intentional. And you'll begin to think about all of the different aspects that it will take to meet each goal. Now, this is correct. You're not wrong for wanting to do this. Okay. Let's say you have a goal for starting therapy. You have a goal for working on your marriage issues. You have a goal for losing 20 pounds. Like, we have all of these options. Okay. And as your mind is working on them, you're trying to figure out all of the things that you need to do to make this goal reaching inevitable. What do I need to do to make this inevitable? It absolutely has to happen, okay? But as we pursue this, we may find out that it's hard to do everything on every list at the same time. Okay, you cannot go out and train constantly for your 10K and organize every room of your home and create social media content for the next 6 weeks and everything all at the same time in the same layer. Okay, so we want to make sure that if we are pursuing this and working on it, we have a strategy to go with it. Okay, that you have a strategy to go with it. I will not let anybody who's in my community or under the sound of my voice just throw a dart and hope it hits something. But really, that's how some of us are pursuing our goals. We throw the dart and we hope that it hits the bullseye. We hope somehow that it does what we set out for it to do. So here's the thought that I want to push today, okay? In the journey to streamlining and organizing things, every single goal that is on your list is not vital, okay? What we will do, even on accident, is we will push ourselves to accomplish certain things that will not make the biggest difference in our lives, okay? It's not going to make the biggest difference. If you were to write down 5 things that you want to accomplish before the year is over, what if we circle 2 of them? Just 2 of those goals that will make the biggest transformation in your day-to-day life. Okay, which of all 5 goals, which 2 would make the biggest difference in your day-to-day living? Okay, this is how we streamline. This is how we narrow down the plethora of options that we have in front of us. Between your husband, your kids, your business, your career, your self-care, your home management, kids in school, there's a lot of moving pieces. I cannot equally attack everything every single day. So this is where we see, and this is what my post was about putting everything underneath one umbrella, right? Streamlining. For Christina, business-wise, this is what this looks like. Under Mamathon, right, I have 4 different pillars, okay? We offer one-to-one consulting, coaching, right? I meet with clients every single week after week, and we troubleshoot and problem solve and create strategy related to their family life and their businesses and all the efforts that they're doing. That's 1. Number 2, the Mamathon Conference, October 27th through the 29th in Atlanta, okay? It's where we gather, not everybody, but a nice portion of our ladies, and we network and we worship and we fellowship and we strategize in person at the Renaissance Hotel. That is the 2nd pillar, okay? The 3rd one is we have a lot of maternal and educational advocacy nonprofits that we are partnering with this year, okay? So I have been paid well good afternoon. I've been paid to represent different organizations. We could call it influencer stuff, but at a certain point, there are some events and conferences that I'm going to where there are nonprofit founders, legislators, policy directors, and we're in the middle of a conversation about public school reform. Public school reform, the needs of mothers on a legislative level. these are the places where Mamathon is going now. That is a third pillar of Mamathon. Okay. And then, of course, number 4 is I do speaking, right? So workshops. We work with our local housing authority and Hyatt and Essence and a myriad of other places where they invite me to come and speak and do workshops and universities and all of these things. Mamathon has 4 pillars underneath the work that we do. Of course, it started out with 1, the conference, right? But then as women came in, they said, I need more support. So we offer strategic planning coaching. Then as we built the community outward, people said, wait a second, we want to hear about the needs of mothers from people who are in the trenches. That's where the maternal and educational advocacy options started to pop in. Okay, so these are all underneath the same umbrella. This is a very streamlined effort on my part. I am not also selling Mary Kay. I don't have a secret candle line. Okay, I don't have a Mamathon decor line somewhere else. Okay, all of the work that I do is ingrained in these areas: speaking, coaching, advocacy on the political level. And workshops, and the conference. Okay, all of these are underneath the same umbrella. So some of you have some really great ideas, but they're spread out. Okay, some of you have great ideas, but they are spread out. So you have the book, and you have your decor line, and you do travel, and you do and there's so many things spread out all over the place. How in the world, when it's time to market? How in the world, when it's time to promote, do you even know which one to do? When people come to find you, which they will come to find you because you're amazing, right? What will they find when they get there? How will they know that you're their person? If you are scattered, how will they know that you're the person that's the answer for them? How will they know? Will it be evident to them that you're exactly what they're looking for? My social media is laid out in exactly that way. We're building a tribe of super moms, brilliant women who love God and love their families, and they don't play about their goals. Okay. When I sign off on my post, I sign off your productivity coach, or the Olivia Pope for working moms. Okay. Because everybody knows it's handled. When I come on the scene, it's handled. What you think is a problem is not a problem. Let's do the work together. Right. It's evident. It's right there. You come to the Instagram, there's media information already there that tells you I am who I say I am. When people come to find you, are they going to find the book that you wrote and your candle line and your credit repair business and your plant sale business? All these things so spread out. How can we streamline it together? Not for everybody else, but for you. If your ideas are everywhere, your mind is everywhere. If your mind is everywhere, your initiatives and your efforts will also be scattered. Okay. Now I want to bring this down to something very coachy. Okay. I'm going to coach y'all for just a few minutes, and I have a client call in a little bit at 1:00. So this is not an all day lunch and learn. Okay. All right. So we talk all the time about this book, The 12-Week Year. Okay. We talk all the time about this book. And while I do not teach everything from this book, one of my favorite areas, for those of you who already know, is the emotional cycle of change. Okay. The emotional cycle of change. All of you here can see this roller coaster looking photo that when we decide to be someone new, we go through this cycle. Okay. One of the reasons that I have started to coach longer term, if you've worked with me in the past, maybe you were able to slide into one of those 4-week, 6-week coaching slots. Okay. You were able to slide into one of those slots, and, we worked together for the 6 weeks. We helped you to solve some problems and troubleshoot, and then you went along your merry way. Okay. However, now, Momathon 2023, or the last couple years, but especially now, our ideal coaching term is 6 months. Okay. Why is that? Why is that? I have had the honor, good evening or good afternoon. I have had the honor of supporting hundreds of ambitious mom leaders. Not one or two, not 3 or 5, okay? Several hundred of mom leaders. I have pinged moms from all over the globe. We have about 20,000 followers in over 40 countries. And everyone from Canada to the motherland to the islands all communicate the same thing, okay? We all communicate the same thing. If you're a gentleman here and you're watching and you have a special woman in your life, this will help you to understand her better. And yes, you should send her to the conference, okay? So we're talking about the cycle of change. Anytime, lean into me, y'all. Anytime you work on an idea, you get excited about this idea and you want to work to bring it to life, you start on the path of the emotional cycle of change. Okay? Where we're excited and pumped up here at the top. Okay? And then once we realize how much work it takes to bring this idea to fruition, we slip into phase 2, which is informed pessimism. You go from being pumped up, excited, ready. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make $1 million selling these candles. Oh my gosh. And then you realize this is more challenging than I thought it was. So we slip into phase 2, pessimism, once you realize how hard it is. And after pessimism, you go into what we call the valley of despair. Okay? The valley of despair. This pit right here, okay? We slip down into this area once we realize how much work it takes to bring this idea to life. Okay? Here's the kicker. If you are working on 5 different ideas at a time, 3 different ideas at a time, trying to navigate being a super hot wife or loving partner and raising your children and trying to lose 30 pounds and trying to get your home organized because everything is everywhere and trying to grow your business and you have all of these plans and all these ideas, we exponentially push ourselves down into the valley of despair. You have to get on the roller coaster for the emotional cycle of change for every single idea. What? Oh my gosh, this helped me. Okay, this helped deliver me. Okay? For every single idea you have to go through the cycle of change. So can you imagine the emotional and mental roller coaster that you are going through on a weekly basis, a daily basis, a yearly basis, when you are working on 2, 3, 4 different businesses, 2, 3, 4 different ways to build that one business, okay? And you have not yet gone through the cycle for one of those ideas. Can you imagine the emotional, who was it, Vivian Green, that sung that song, Emotional Roller Coaster? The process you have to go through to bring together a plan for all your plans, to make all of these ideas sync together. So back in the day, I totally used to coach for 6 weeks, but I realized somewhere at the 6-week point, we have figured out an idea. We know what we want. We are more clear on where we're going and the goals we're reaching. And somewhere in that pocket, we realized reaching those goals was harder than we thought. Good afternoon, everybody. We realized that losing that 20 pounds means I have to work out 4 to 5 days a week. I got to cut out on all that gluten. That was me. Hey, everybody. Y'all here in the chat now. What's up? If this is resonating, I need to see you in my DMs after this. Okay? Because as we're building our goals, as we are pushing to become this woman, this magical sis. Hey, Nicola. Okay? Because we're all over the place. We have all these ideas, and now you got to go through the cycle of change and all of this mind drama for every single idea. No wonder you're overwhelmed. No wonder. No wonder you're fussing at everybody. No wonder everything is chaotic because we don't finish anything. We're not finishing. We're not going through to the process, okay? So here's what I want you all to lean in with me for. We must streamline. We must organize. We must figure out what are the most important things that need to happen. Okay? If you need to streamline, put streamline in the comments right now. Put streamline in the comments because I refuse to be the woman that is all over the place with so many ideas. None of them are finished. What? All of them are everywhere. Put streamline in the comments if you refuse to let your January 2024 goals look like the 2023 ones. If you are adamant and passionate about focusing in on what really matters. Because at the end of the day, ultimately, God gives me this baton and he tells me, listen, Christina, run well with it. And there are certain things that I am in covenant relationship for. Okay? Covenant relationship for. Nicola said streamline and streamlining. Streamline. I see y'all. Streamline. Put it in the comments. Drop it in the comments. I will not be all over the place. I will not have 5 different ideas and gloating about having 5 different businesses and none of them are profitable. So I have Momathon coaching where I work with ambitious moms and they kill the game. They are politicians. We got a Netflix star on our coaching roster. We have educators. We have attorneys. We have women who are entrepreneurs and doing well in their businesses. But they also want to make sure that their family life is in tune. I don't want to procrastinate anymore. I don't want to be all over the place. I feel like I'm caught in between. Y'all hear me? Listen to this. Caught in between doing too much and not doing enough. Caught in between doing too much and then not doing enough. What's the crossroads for this? What's the crossroads for this? How do I make this work? Okay? So we're pushing in, we're leaning into what's most important. I just refuse to be all over the place, torn, feeling like every single day I didn't do exactly what I needed to do. So here's how we see this manifest, okay? Some of us, when we feel overwhelmed, and I got 10 minutes, some of us, when we feel overwhelmed, it manifests in different ways, okay? Some of us, we have a crisis internally. Okay, some of us, we have a crisis internally. We begin to feel as though we are not doing enough. I, as a person, am not enough. We know God gave us this idea. We know that some amazing things are unfolding, but I still feel so scattered. So we have an inner crisis, okay? Another way that this unfolds is we back away. Okay, it's okay. You can put an emoji in the comments. I see you. I know how it is. I begin to back away from what I said I wanted. I said I wanted to drop the 20 pounds. I said I wanted to write the book. I said I wanted to work on this business and make it more profitable. I said I wasn't going to be all over the place like Janisha and Nicola said. I said I wasn't going to be everywhere, right? But look at me now. Where am I? Everywhere or nowhere. Okay. So I was coaching one of my clients earlier today. And we were just talking about her streamlining everything. Like, yes, you have all of these options, but you don't need all these options. You only need this one. Let's figure out how we can love this option and make it your boo, right? Let's make it work instead of constantly spiraling over if this is it or if it's not. Okay? So some of us, we start to do too much. Others of us, we start to do nothing at all. Okay? I have a book somewhere in my house. I have 8 minutes. I have a book somewhere in my house called Know Your Value by Mika Brzezinski. And in this book, she talks a lot about, hey, everybody. In this book, she talks a lot about how, as women, when we feel overwhelmed, we just back away. We begin to feel as though this is not really for us. Okay? It's not really for me. I feel like this is my jam, but it's not really for me. Okay? Hey, everyone. And so we begin to step back. Instead of pushing forward and really aggressively chasing what could be. All right. I have a belief, and I've shared this before when I talk about my work with Essence Magazine, when I talk about contributing to Forbes, Red Table Talk, Fox News, Washington Post, and a myriad of other places as a thought leader and as a coach. And as an advocate for busy moms who are tired as I don't know what. Okay. Because we are in this delicate place, I have to lay out the path of this is for you. You will go through changes as you change. Okay? You will have to adapt as you change, but this is not bad. In fact, I endeavor to say with my last 7 minutes that God wants you to go through these processes. He wants you to learn and dream and imagine and develop and build. He wants you to do it. Okay? And I even believe that our relationships will be stronger as a result of this change. As a result of this change. Okay? So we have to do our necessary work so that we are developing. Right? Like my relationship with my husband changed exponentially, right? As I began to become somebody different. Y'all hearing me? As I changed and became someone different, my marriage changed. My relationship with my children changed. Thank you for sharing that book title, Janisha, Know Your Value by Mika Brzezinski. And she talks about navigating through all of these changes, right? Growing as a woman in corporate and C-suite and all of this. It can be a bit much, right? Hold on, guys. Okay. My client is running a little bit behind. Okay, let's keep going. So as we are going through these changes, your family is going to have to learn how to respond to these changes, okay? As you lean into this, I want you to know, like, everyone in our community, if you're a busy mom, drop an emoji in the comments for me, please. I just want to know who you are. I want to see you. If you're a brilliant mom leader and you're building something big, drop me a crown in the comments. If you are a woman, if you're a homeschooling mom, if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're an author, drop an emoji for me in the comments. We want to know who you are. We want to celebrate you. We are women running for political office. We are advocates. We are nonprofit founders. We are educators. We are attorneys. We are homeschooling parents. We are entrepreneurs. We have all the sauce here in this community. All the sauce here in this community. So we know about building big ideas and building a family at the same time. And I'll tell you, as we celebrate the changes in society that we're creating, right? As we share all of this and celebrate it, I have to let you know that there's a division. I see y'all pull up, right? There's a division that's happening in the family where we start to feel like our husbands are not supportive, right? Where maybe we don't know how to communicate how we need support as we grow and we change. Okay, I have 5 very loud, incredible children who y'all can probably hear from outside my little go live space. and we homeschool. My kids are always around, always with me. I had to learn to change. Christina, had to learn how to adapt to being the mamathon me, right? I had to learn how to be the mamathon me, but also still be Christina, the people who need me the most in my family. All right. And many of us, we are caught in between doing so much for our families and loving them well. And then also on the other side of this, wanting to grow and develop and change ourselves, right? And so Mamathon never started. I see you, Nicola. Thanks for your question. I am always in awe of how we've developed over the years. I never started off trying to coach anybody, never started off doing all of this thing, all the things that we're doing now, but I would never have it another way. I did have to lean into the changes in communication, taking my ego out of how my house runs, right? Learning how to communicate with my husband in a fruitful way so that I could be fully Mamathon Christina and then also still be the present version of myself. Okay. So Nicola said, what is it like to be on the receiving end as you go through changes as you're changing? By receiving end, what do you mean? Okay. I am under the idea that receiving and changing goes both ways. My husband shared with me maybe a year or two ago that as a woman, I have the privilege of changing. Okay. The privilege of saying, I'm praying about it. I decided I'm going to go a different way, be very lofty in how I do all the things. I'm just considering it. Like I kind of have the privilege of being that person. Whereas he, as a man, he still has to continue to make sure all the things are flowing like it needs to in the family. Okay. So for all of you who are on the receiving end, okay, or you're in the trenches, let's make space for our loved ones and us to both change. And changing isn't a bad thing, right? It's a beautiful thing. Okay. So she said, what are they experiencing of you? And then how to respond or grow with / around. I believe, I hear what you're saying. I believe that some things should not change. Okay. You, the person, are adapting, you're growing, you're working on yourself. Okay. But my family should never for a second feel like I don't want them. I don't have time for you. The time that we spend together, I would rather be doing something else. Like my husband and I will have a come to Jesus in the morning. All right. What's your schedule like today? Let me tell you what my schedule's like today. Okay. And then we will sync to make sure that no one person feels like I'm doing all this stuff and no one else knows. Okay. We have ladies come to the conference every single year, October 27th through the 29th in Atlanta. DM me for details. Women that come every year and they get inspired and ignited and their fire is turned on. And they're like, I'm in a room full of so many ambitious, remarkable women. I'm going home. I feel brand new. And unfortunately, their families were not a part of any of these sessions. Their family wasn't a part of any of this. And so they're coming home. They see this woman with this new shiny crown on. She's glowing. She's glistening. She's hovering above the floor. Okay. I want to do this and I want to start this and I want to get this organized. And I feel all of these things. I'm so on fire. Some of you guys will be on fire after you leave watching this live. Christina said it's possible. I believe it's possible. I'm about to go change it all right now. And we forget about the emotional cycle of change. We forget that we get real excited up here at the top, okay? And then we slide down here into informed pessimism, where you realize your family was not at this conference. Your family was not listening to this live today, so they don't understand this new and improved you. Okay, so a big part of our one-to-one coaching where we work with moms mom leaders, women leaders, is because as you adapt and change, we have to prepare for the ripple effect that happens as you change. As you change, some of my clients are running for public office, right? Some of them are movie stars. Like, you could turn on Netflix right now and see her. Okay? Amazon Prime and see her. And as they're growing and developing and changing and their ideas are getting bigger, they have not prepped their family for this new and improved version. Y'all hear me? They have not prepped their family for the growth they want to experience. They just feel like everyone should catch up. They just feel like everyone should get on board. That's not how this works. Okay? I love y'all, including maybe there's some new folks who are watching. I'm always going to give you some truth with love. That is not how it works. I can't just pop up and want to be Mamathon Christina, not want to do anything for anybody at all. You know, my children, I'm up working early in the morning. They get my chair, they turn my chair to face them, and their whole bodies come and fall on me. They're going to stop their mama from working, and they're going to get their morning love. And I want to stop working when they come in the room and let them feel that vitality. How important and how much I love you. How amazing you are to me. I want you to feel that. I want to look my husband in the eye when he's talking to me on top of my work, right? On top of my work, and let him feel important. Okay? Some communities, some leaders, I'm going to be real transparent since I got y'all watching this. Some of y'all going to sign off because it could be you. Some of them are anti-family. Some leaders and some communities are anti-family. How do I know? Because I have seen it. I've seen it. They're like, listen, girl, if he doesn't do right, if he's jealous of you, just leave him. All your husband asked was, are you going to stop working? It's 11 o'clock. Are we going to bed together? And then we, see, y'all signed off. So, and then we take that connotation as he's jealous. No, he just wants you to be his wife too. Okay? Somebody said, yeah, but we need to give themselves grace and need to give themselves grace to heal from that environment. There are a lot of anti-family missions out here, y'all. And then we plug in and we start listening to these people who are not for our families. They don't want to see your family stick together. They're single, right? No man in sight. They want you to be single, no man in sight. They're divorced. They feel like, hey, listen, I'm just tossed like that man tossed his hat in the air in Montgomery. Toss a hat. You're going to toss that marriage. Go do you, sis. Go be you. But some of us, we want to keep our stuff intact in as much as possible. I don't want my kids to grow up and say their mama was so focused on building Mamathon, right? She was so focused on her productivity coaching. I don't coach at all on Wednesdays, on Mondays, or on Thursdays. Those are the days my children have all of their mother. You want to work with me? You better find me Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. I'll work with the hour, right? But there are these other days where it's like I'm all family. They cannot feel. Y'all hear me? They cannot feel like they are second choice. As I build, as I become, as whoever God is making me to be, as I serve all of you through coaching and the conference and our educational advocacy that we're doing, maternal advocacy, right? Rallying for mothers and for educational choice and all this stuff that we're doing in this community now. They cannot feel like they are second choice. They are my responsibility. I am in relationship with them. They make my story good. Okay? They make my story so good. So when I talk about productivity, when I talk about time management, when I talk about aggressively moving towards the woman that you're craving to be, we have to make sure that we know how to streamline and how to organize ourselves, okay? So that it works, so that the math works, okay? So that the math is mathing. Life is always going to be crazy. Your kid's always going to be loud. If If you let them, they will sit there and Netflix and chill all the time. Okay. But I have learned that delegating is an art. Okay. So I don't have to pay a million people to come and do everything around my house. I have children. They are from 5 to 15. They keep the house clean. We've educated them on what to do. And so a lot of us, as we're streamlining, you will need to learn how to not be the primary problem solver in your family and in your network. In your family and in your network. Some of us have been problem solving for 5 years, 10 years, our entire lives. You've been the problem solver. And then you expect to change that hat out, and everybody around you is just going to understand. And everyone around you is just going to jump on board for you to be this new, up-leveled, God-centered, virtuous woman, empire version of yourself. Baby, they might need some time. They may need some time. Then you may need a different strategy. If you're anything like the women that I work with, they have so many plans and so many responsibilities. They need something different to sync all of it. Because we want to keep our families together and we want to be a big deal. We want to do both of those. Okay. So starting out with Mamathon, we just wanted to, serve our motherhood community and create a safe space and all of that. But it has turned into something completely different with our conference. I work with the most brilliant coaching clients. Like, they just have light bulb after light bulb. All of them are hitting their benchmarks, right? And one of the things that is important for me in this season, as they are getting their support, is they have anonymous support, right? So no one really knows who they are unless they raise their hand and say, I'm a coaching client, because they deserve discretion. Some of us, our lives are hectic. Our minds are disorganized. We have certain mental health issues we're trying to work through. We're in therapy and we're trying to get streamlined and. So that is where productivity coaching steps in, okay? So as you are getting your life organized, as you're streamlining and making incredible efforts and moves in this world, I want you to reach out to me right now. Okay, if something that I've said to you today resonates, okay, let's set up time to talk about it. Okay, I am very honored to support brilliant mothers, especially women leaders, with the tools and strategies they need to become the biggest deal. You hear me? Like, next level everything, but without boycotting their family needs in the process. Okay. If you know that that's something that you need, that resonates with you, then I want for you to shoot me a DM after this live is over. It's no accident that you found it. It's no accident that somebody shared it and you found a coach who specializes in busy women's hectic lives. Everyone always comes to like the discovery calls and they're like, I know you've never heard this story before. My life is so crazy here. And I'm like, girl, I heard this story this morning. Everybody's the same. Everybody is the same. We all have family challenges, work challenges, self-care challenges, to-do list challenges, and we're all trying to figure out how is it going to work. Okay. So stop what you're doing after this live is over. Shoot me a DM if you've been looking for someone who gets it. If you've been looking for someone who actually understands and speaks the language of busy women who are leaders who don't want to procrastinate, and I don't want to be overwhelmed, and I don't want to be caught in between doing too much and not doing enough. Okay. A lot of my clients have collaborative care, right? Where they have a therapist and they have me as a life coach too, right? And the initiatives go together. A lot of times what we coach on is confirmation of what they heard in therapy. So we bring all of these moving pieces together to transform your life. Okay, we help you to move things off your to-do list, to help you do more of what brings you joy. You get rid of that scattered mind. You're able to monitor and control your emotions, right? Some of my clients had anger issues because they always felt unheard, unseen, underappreciated, undervalued. And we're able to communicate what they need in a way that their loved ones can respond to. All right. Last but not least, because I think my client is texting me, say she's ready. There's a delicate balance of pursuing your goals and building your family and bringing all of these things together. Okay. That's what our specialty is here. That's what our specialty is. It's literally all I do. Okay. And if you got questions, you can look me up. You can Google me, put in Christina Garrett Mamathon, and you'll see a whole flood of amazing things from Essence Magazine to Red Table Talk to Fox News, Washington Post, Forbes a couple times, Yahoo Parenting, Sweet July, and a myriad of other options to let you know that we are not new to this, sis, we are true to this. Okay. So I look forward to talking to you all, hearing more about your story, and diving deep in with you all about your goals for the year. Okay. This was so good. It was like juicy good. I look forward to following up with all of y'all. Y'all have an epic Friday, and we'll talk soon.